Hello BTS lovers. What truly happens when two global icons, who have been separated for so long, are finally reunited? Who could have imagined that such an emotionally charged meeting would happen without the public's knowledge, even after months of waiting? Why did they choose to keep this precious moment hidden from the world's spotlight? What transpired behind closed doors that made this meeting so special and shrouded in secrecy? In 2025, the world of K-pop and ARMY, BTS's devoted fans, was shaken by a revelation that was truly heart-stirring. There was no official announcement, no press conference, and no notification about when or how they would meet. But in reality, after Jungkook completed his long military service, he and Jimin finally reunited, in a meeting full of emotion, memories, and a promise to move forward together. However, they chose to keep this moment to themselves. If you are a die-hard BTS fan, you surely know how long the members, especially Jimin and Jungkook, have been under the public's eye. They have always been at the center of attention, followed by millions of eyes worldwide. From their stunning stage performances to their personal lives always being discussed, every move they make seems to be under media scrutiny. So why did they choose to keep this meeting so private? What truly happened during this reunion? And what does this moment mean for both of them after years of separation? To answer all these questions, we must look deeper, not only from the fans' perspective but also from a human and personal relationship angle. Between Jimin and Jungkook, we know that BTS is not just a music group, they are brothers. And when they were finally separated by military duties, the tension and longing crept in. But there's more to this secret meeting than just longing. There's sacrifice, a search for personal identity, and most importantly, a bigger promise about friendship and family. One of the most frequently asked questions after news of Jimin and Jungkook's meeting started to spread is, why did they choose to meet in secret? After months, even nearly 2 years, where they lived very different lives, Jungkook in the military and Jimin busy with his career, why did they choose to keep this moment just for themselves? The answer to this question may lie in their need for privacy, something they rarely get to experience. Since BTS's grand debut, every step they take has always been public consumption. There is no truly private moment, even when they want to enjoy time together. In a world full of pressure and high expectations, sometimes what they need is just a peaceful moment where they can be themselves, away from the spotlight. Jimin and Jungkook, although known as two very talented and admired figures, are also humans with feelings, yearnings, and the need to feel the warmth of simple friendship. Perhaps they wanted their meeting to mean not only to their fans but also to themselves. A more personal meeting that would allow them to speak without pressure, without pretending to be happy in front of cameras. Of course, many people wondered when and where exactly this meeting took place. Previously, fans knew that Jungkook had just finished his military service and returned to normal life. However, there were no updates about a meeting between Jimin and Jungkook after Jungkook returned to Seoul, until finally, the news leaked through sources close to them. Allegedly, the meeting happened one night in a very private place, a residence that not many people knew about. They chose a safe and quiet location, far from the crowds and disturbances. Although there were no official photos or videos circulating, highly trusted sources mentioned that the meeting was very intimate and emotional. There were no spotlighting cameras, no fans waiting outside. There were only two old friends hugging each other, talking about everything they had experienced during their months of separation. This was a time to reminisce about the good times they had together in BTS, to talk about their dreams and hopes for the future, and to celebrate their unshakable friendship despite the distance and time that had kept them apart. We cannot only view the relationship between Jimin and Jungkook from a professional standpoint. They are not just group mates who share stages and songs, but more than that, they are true friends. Since BTS's early debut days, Jimin and Jungkook have shown a very close relationship. Not only on stage but also in their private lives. There have been countless funny, touching, and even hilarious moments that shaped their closeness. Although they have different personalities, they always complement and support each other. When Jungkook was called to fulfill his military duty, it was undoubtedly a great challenge for both of them. Not just because they had to be physically apart, but also because this separation came at a time of significant changes for BTS and its members. Jungkook, as the maknae youngest member who had always been the center of attention, had to face many challenges without being able to interact with his fellow members directly. Meanwhile, Jimin, who spent more time preparing for his solo activities and other projects, had to learn to stand on his own in a constantly changing world. However, they always supported each other in silence. Through private messages, video calls, and perhaps even just through the whispers of the wind, they remained connected despite the distance. For them, physical distance never really stopped the strong bond they shared. The moment when Jimin and Jungkook met again after Jungkook completed his military service not only brought happiness but also so many emotions that might be difficult to express with words. For months, they missed each other. The pent-up longing, the broken hopes, and the loneliness they had to endure with patience. But when they were finally able to meet, all those feelings seemed to flow out instantly. For Jimin and Jungkook, this was not just the meeting of two friends. It was a moment where they could support each other and remind themselves of the true meaning of genuine friendship, about how they complete each other and provide strength for one another over the years. Without having to say a word, they knew exactly what each of them felt. Sometimes, the purest happiness comes without the need for words. After this emotional meeting, Jimin and Jungkook promised to continue supporting each other, no matter what came their way. They both knew that their journey as part of BTS would never be the same after everything they had been through, but they also knew they would continue moving forward together. Even after their secret, deeply emotional meeting, they promised to remain there for each other, in every step they took. What can we learn from this meeting? That, in a world full of attention, sometimes the most valuable moments are the private ones that remain unspoken. Jimin and Jungkook may have chosen to keep their privacy, but one thing is certain. Their bond will never fade. And for ARMY, even though they can only imagine this meeting from afar, it's enough to bring hope and inspiration. Because sometimes, the greatest joy comes from things we never expected. Jimin and Jungkook's decision to keep their meeting from the public eye was not an easy one. They understood that every step they took was carefully observed by fans and media. In fact, their personal lives often became the subject of speculation. Yet, for this meeting, they chose to guard every detail with great care. For them, it wasn't just about protecting their privacy, it was also about creating a safe space for themselves, away from the pressure of the outside world constantly watching. When Jungkook finished his military service, many fans hoped that a reunion with the other BTS members would soon be revealed. But Jimin and Jungkook chose not to rush things. They knew that, after months apart, there were many things they needed to talk about. Memories, feelings of loss, and the desire to share experiences that only the two of them could truly understand. For Jungkook, serving in the military was no easy feat. Although he is known for being strong, talented, and energetic, being away from his fellow members, especially Jimin, must have presented its own set of challenges. Jungkook has always had a very close relationship with the BTS members, especially with Jimin. Their closeness over the years created a bond that words could hardly describe. When Jungkook left for military service, Jimin had to learn to live without his ever-supportive presence. Meanwhile, for Jimin, these times weren't easy either. Amidst his busy solo projects and various BTS activities, he often missed Jungkook's presence. Although they stayed connected through messages and video calls, it was never the same as being near one another. They supported each other, but there was a part of them that felt incomplete without the other. It's undeniable that BTS, as a phenomenal music group, has always been seen as a unified whole. When one member has to go, even for a noble cause, it feels like something is missing from the group. This separation taught them valuable lessons about the importance of supporting each other, both professionally and personally. And ultimately, this secret meeting became proof of how significant their friendship truly is. Jimin, I really missed you, Jungkook said with a slightly hoarse voice. According to a source present during the meeting. Jimin just smiled, though his eyes seemed a bit teary. He responded with a tight hug that showed how deep their feelings were. There were no words stronger than that hug, a hug that expressed all the emotions they had kept inside.